Okay, the Ducati Scrambler Urban Enduro. Okay, this is really the first review that I've done on the bike. I've had it for almost 2 years, around about 9,000 kilometres. Okay, the first big question, is it an adventure bike? Well, I've taken it on quite a few adventures. Any bike really is an adventure bike, but I guess the big question is it a true off-road adventure bike? My answer to that question would be no. I would compare it to, for example, in four-wheel drive terms, a Subaru Outback. I've taken this through really, really rough terrain, really downhill, big downhill, rocky areas. To be totally honest, the ABS works amazing even going downhill. But what it lacks is, say for example, a Subaru Outback would lack in that area, is suspension travel. Okay, it's only got 150 mils of suspension travel on it, and as you can see by underneath, there is not a lot of ground clearance at all. So suspension travel is an issue. From stock, the suspension is very harsh and hard. I've actually spent $1,000 on aftermarket suspension, which is Icon suspension, different rear shock, progressive sport fork springs, and that made a lot of difference to the ride. And also the seat was made of concrete, so I modified the seat and made it a lot more comfortable. But at the end of the day, 150 mil of travel is still only 150 mils of travel. Another big thing that stops it from being a long distance adventure bike, biggest thing, is the tank. 13.5 litre tank. And because of where the exhaust sits, you're really restricted to the amount of luggage you can carry. And another big drawback is where the air filter is down under the tank there. It's quite low. Could be an issue with river crossing, stuff like that. You may say, what about the Desert Sled? Okay. The Desert Sled is a way better bike, and it is a true off-road bike, the Desert Sled. Has 200 mils of travel front and rear, really good adjustable suspension, but it is still let down by its tank size. And I know you can carry fuel pods and all these types of things, but then that's restricting your room for carrying other luggage. And Safari Tank have told me on a few occasions that they will not make a bigger tank for the Desert Sled. So it's a great bike. I love it. This bike handles smooth dirt roads really, really well, but if it's really rough stuff, it hits really badly, even with aftermarket suspension. And through the twisties, this thing is absolutely amazing. Through twisty roads, yeah, it's like a super motard. So if you want a really soft off-roader, a bike that's really good for the twisties, and it's got a range of around just on 200 kilometres. So you've got to take that into consideration. Your tank range is about 200 k's. Okay, I'll talk about mods on my next segment of the Ducati Scrambler.